Assalamu alaikum everybody, and today in this video we'll be talking about active voice and passive voice. We'll be discussing the definitions, examples and a bit of explanation. So let's begin. Active voice is a sentence that includes subject, verb and object. For example, I want an ice cream. So I is the subject and want is the verb. Ice cream would be the object. So in active voice, the subject is dominant. It is more important. We use it in our daily lives as well. Coming towards the definition of active voice, so it is a type of sentence structure in which the subject of a sentence performs the action. So as I have said it before that subject is dominant. It is in contrast to passive voice in which the subject of the sentence receives the action. For example, I ate an apple. I is the subject and apple is the object, whereas eat is the verb where we have performed an action of eating. The dog chased the cat. Dog would be the subject. Chased is the action, like we are performing an action, and chase is the action. And now here is the word cat. So a lot of people would say that this is the subject, but no, this is the object because the dog chased the cat. So here it is acting as an object. Another example we have is the she wrote a letter. So she is the subject, letter is the object, and writing something is the action. So wrote is the second form of verb. Active voice is a grammatical construction in which the subject of a sentence performs the action of the verb. For example, the dog barked. The subject dog is performing the action of the verb barked. Another example is the teacher graded the tests. In this sentence, the teacher is performing a kind of an action which is the verb graded. Like the teacher marked the tests. Talking about the importance of active voice, so active voice is used in academic writing, blogs, web pages, essays, and even in our daily conversations. Whenever the subject is needed to be highlighted, people use active voice, whether it's about writing an essay or the blog post, web pages, or even a formal document. We do use active voice as it gives clarity, cohesion and coherence, organization, focus, and it even improves the caliber of your writing. Active voice statement is shorter and precise than the passive voice. Talking about in our daily routine, we use active voice. So there is an example mentioned, I want an ice cream, rather than saying ice cream is wanted by me. So we never use a passive voice in our daily conversations. Next we have is the passive voice. So it is a grammatical construction in which the subject of the sentence is not the doer or the actor of the action, but instead the recipient of the action. For example, in the sentence, the ball was thrown by John, the subject is the ball, the recipient of the action, and the actor is John. This sentence is in the passive voice because the subject is not performing the action. It should be made evidently clear that the ball is the object. We can say the receiver of the action is the subject. Another example of passive voice, the house was built by the contractor. In this sentence, the subject is the house and the recipient of the action or the actor is the contractor. So like in one sense, the house is the object and contractor is a person, which can be a subject. Basic definition of passive voice is a grammatical construction in which the subject is acted upon by the verb is formed by combining a form of the verb to be with the past participle. For example, the ball was thrown by John. So here the ball is the subject, was thrown is the action, by is the preposition, and John is the subject. The basic formula of passive voice is object plus verb plus subject. Subject comes at the end, and here object is dominant. Another example is that the cake was eaten by the children. So the cake is the object, was eaten is the verb, by the preposition, the children is the subject. Similarly, another example, the house was built by the carpenter. Carpenter is the subject, the house is the object, and was is the past tense, built is the verb, by is the preposition. Talking about the concept of why passive voice is important or where it is used. So, it is used in report writing, news channels, lab reports, practical copies. It is used when the object is in the limelight or we need to give the importance to the object. So, passive voice gives formal tone whether in written or spoken. The statement in passive voice is elongated, not precise, compared to active voice. In passive voice, the object is dominant rather than the subject itself. The preposition by is used in passive voice, but it is not always mandatory that it would be present in the sentence. For example, there's a sentence, the video is played. So now this is a passive voice, but here by me is not present. But what if we say the video is played by me? Now it indicates that now it is passive voice. But what if the video is played, this sentence comes somewhere and pops up in the paper or anywhere? So it can be understood that like in the sentence the object is present first, and here the video is the object, is played is the verb, and by is the preposition, and me is the subject. So here the video is the object. Recall a bit in our practical notebooks. It was mentioned that the solution is or was preheated by 100-degree Fahrenheit. The solution is the object. Preposition by is used here and the subject is missing because we have never seen that the statement would be written as I preheated the solution in a beaker at 100-degree Fahrenheit, but always the statement would start with the object in our practical notebooks. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Like, subscribe and share as much as you people can. Meeting you in the next video. Till then, Allah Hafiz.